Hello guys, I'm Pranav. I was part of the iGEM 2022 team representing IISER TVM. I was the safety head of the team and I played a major role in the wet lab team as well.
Hi, my name is Ira Zibu. I'm a 4th year BSMS student here at IISER TVM and I'm a biology major. So I was part of iGEM 2022 and in my team I was the wet lab head, so I was planning experiments with my team and then executing them.
So hi, I'm Tejas Sabu. I'm currently a 4th year undergraduate student at IISER Thiruvananthapuram. I am majoring in biology and minoring in data science. For the 2021 iGEM team, I was like the team leader.
Hi, I'm Parth. I'm a biology major, 4th year undergrad. I was part of the iGEM 2022 team. So my role in the iGEM 2022 team was mostly geared towards the wet lab experiments and creating the wiki page.
Hello everyone, I'm Sneha, a 4th year BSMS student from the School of Biology, IISER TVM. I was the team lead of iGEM 2022 team from IISER Thiruvananthapuram.
Hello everyone, I am Sheba Chiran. I am a 4th year BSMS student pursuing my majors in biology at IISER TVM. And I was also a part of the 2021 iGEM team from the institute, which is also the first team from the institute. And I still continue my journey with iGEM. So this year I am the iGEM ambassador to Asia and Oceania. And that's about me. So I think we can go into the questions.
What is iGEM and what is its goal?
So iGEM, or the International Genetically Engineered Machine, is an annual competition. It's a synthetic biology competition where students from around the world will form teams and then pick up an issue that's relevant to their local community or to the world and then use bioengineering or synthetic biology to come up with solutions for it.
So this actually started as a classroom project in MIT, which is the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, and later the students and the faculty involved started expanding this slowly into different regions. Let's say few colleges came together, few more classes came together, and from 2008 to 2020-23, iGEM has grown significantly in the number of teams participating, in the number of countries involved.
So it's essentially geared towards helping not only the public but also the students to learn more about synthetic biology, more about science, and that's more or less what iGEM is all about.
Who can participate in iGEM and how do you form a team, and what all are the things that you consider when choosing a topic?
So as per iGEM criteria, there are different categories in iGEM. The first one being collegiate students, the second one high school students, the third one commercial, say like companies can compete, and independently labs can also compete in iGEM. So in the collegiate category itself, there are two separate categories. You can either compete as an undergrad team or as an overgrad team. So every iGEM team will be having this 8 to 15 members.
And apart from the team members, you will also have like a PI, primary PI and a secondary PI who will basically be guiding you throughout your project and be like a point of contact between iGEM and your team. And apart from that, you will also have advisors and mentors who can be basically your postdocs and PhD students in your lab who will be helping you throughout your project.
And like to form a team, it's basically like it's a bunch of students coming together to solve a very local problem in their vicinity.
I would say anyone who has a keen interest in doing this, anyone who is willing to put in the effort and time for it, along with the courses going on by this side, I think that's enough reason for you to go for iGEM, and you don't need anything else.
What is the timeline for the competition and important milestones?
So iGEM is essentially not a linear timeline. It's as what iGEM puts it, is a cycle. You start off registering in around April. You go all the way till the Jamboree, which is in October, throughout which you have multiple deadlines for the promo video, for the wiki, and the safety form. And once October ends, your project also comes to an end, and the next cycle starts where a new team is formed and the new team starts talking to the previous team and they start coming up with a new idea of their own. They start working on it, they approach professors, get their own PIs, and then by the time April rolls around, they get the funds for the registration, register again, spend the next 8 months working on this project, and the cycle repeats.
But most of the times iGEM teams start like little early because you're doing a full-fledged project, and iGEM project is not just say like the wet lab part, but it has like a lot of other aspects also. So starting from human practices or like outreach, several other educational activities, safety, sponsorship, then proposed implementation where you are going into the industrial side of your project. So all of these things you have to cover in this 1 year span.
The entire process ends usually in October or November when the Grand Jamboree is, and this year it's happening in Paris like it was last year, and that's the final evaluation and presentation.
What are some of the resources provided to the participating team?
In terms of resources, definitely our institute will be of immense help, and to mention here, iGEM project is like little expensive. So for the entirety of the project, just for the registration part, you need a total of 6 lakhs. So definitely you will need monetary help from either through crowdfunding or from the institute or several other grants. So in the monetary aspect, one way where iGEM would help you is, there are a couple of collaborations for iGEM with some of the companies. So you can directly apply for that grants.
So majority of the resources you get it from your institute, your home institute. It's the basic lab space that you work in if your project is wet lab based, and all kinds of support from different labs, resources, enzymes, all kind of materials you get from your home institute labs. The competition provides different grants that you can apply to in order to receive money from them to outsource your project and everything. Some grants are like the iGEM safety grant, the Promega grant.
So iGEM offers like a plethora of resources, starting from like any kind of lab practices or even some kind of parts or gene fragments that you want to use in a project that other people have used. There is also a separate website, like a registry website, where teams who have used certain gene fragments, they will characterize all the information and put it in that website. So if anyone is wanting to continue in that way, they can refer to that. Other than that, they also give you a premium membership to some of the softwares like MATLAB to do your math modeling, and even SnapGene to make your assemblies more perfect. And they also have like a ton of online live workshops also during the competition, so that even if you're not familiar with certain sections like math modeling or even like say how to do cloning, they will teach you through that live workshop, and it's really, really useful.
I think it gives us this opportunity at Max, which is allowing us to apply all these techniques which we learned in our courses and all the lab courses which we had, and actually implement it to build something from scratch. And given that it's an undergrad project where the students have control over the entirety of the project, I would say iGEM is giving us more than enough to it's just incentive, if I would say, to come up with something and help the community around you.
So from the host institute, the biggest thing that you could possibly get is funding. The initial amount of funding is the hardest to come up with because you don't have a solid idea as yet. So having your institute back you up with that funding is useful. You would also need a principal investigator or a PI and guides and mentors who can be PhD or master's students, who would also most likely come from your university. Coming from iGEM itself, iGEM also allots mentors from its end who will help teams out through the entire process, and those would be, I guess, the major resources that iGEM gives to teams.
How is the competition judged, and what is the criteria for winning?
So in most of the competitions you would expect that the bronze medal goes to the third place, the silver to the second, and gold to the first, but iGEM functions a little differently. In this case, each team has the ability or the chance to win any of these medals, and it depends on whether they meet a predefined set of criteria. So there are bronze medal criteria, silver medal criteria, and gold medal criteria. And as you go up the medals, these criteria become more stringent. So any team that meets any of these criteria for the project will be awarded that medal. And apart from that, there are also particular different tracks. So these are the themes that your project can be around. So it could be like agriculture, bioremediation, food security, etc. And so the best teams within these tracks also get nominated for what are known as track prizes. We also have special prizes. So these are to recognize teams that put in exceptional effort for, let's say, like biosecurity or special effort for human practices, and you can get nominated and a prize for that. And of course, the most prestigious of them all is the grand prize, which one team will win the runner-up and one team will win the grand prize.
And yeah, in general, they basically look at how impactful is your project, whether or not you have gotten some results, or is it likely to work in the future, what is the scope for expanding this project in the future, how are you answering the judging session, etc.
All the judging and everything is solely by the judging committee, which is decided by iGEM, where you can also apply. I mean, I think experienced people can apply.
What are some of the challenges that teams face when participating in iGEM?
So the first challenge would be to set up a team, because this 15-member or 16-member team has to work for this 1 year span towards this single aim of getting your project done, and more than satisfying your medal criteria, doing something impactful to the society. So when we started our project, like, we didn't have like anything in hand. We started with like, we didn't have a E. coli strain to work with, we didn't have the plasmid, our transformations were not working. So these were the initial set of challenges, and most of the facility that we needed for like some of the facility was not there in our campus also. So whatever struggles you are facing through, like in the initial stages of iGEM, as a team, you will figure out ways to overcome those.
So one of the biggest problem would definitely be to look for funds for the project, because as such biological research is very, very, very expensive, and finding funds was one of the most difficult challenge for us. So even though iGEM offers quite a few grants in between, like there is the impact grant, which gives you like a 250 teams about $2,500, but that is again very limited to 250 teams only, so other teams somehow have to find their own money. And even the registration cost has increased, I guess, because during our time it was around $4,500 maybe, but now it's $5,500. And even the Jamboree ticket or the registration itself, you have to shell out an extra $3,000, which again becomes very, very hectic for the entire team throughout. Yes, that's one of the major problems.
Oh, okay. Okay, one thing I would say, so it's a group project. There are 15 people or more than 15 people involved. So when you have an enthusiastic group of 15 or more people involved and everyone has their own voices, it's normal opinions don't match and you go into so many other things. It can go to extremes also, but I think it's up to the team members about how you want to take it forward.
I can say it from a wet lab perspective of what challenges our team faced. So the experiments that we were planning and the scheduling that we were doing, no one in our institute did like that kind of experiments before. And like also working with cell lines, the certain cell lines that we wanted to work with, our institute was not having it, and like not even nearby institutes, there was no one there. So we had to outsource it from different institutes and get it done.
Challenges, yes, there'll be a lot. 24 hours in a day is not enough. You need more. You need to balance coursework, you need to help your teammates out, and sometimes humans have their own opinions and you can't, you generally don't bend for it. But I would suggest that, keeping an open mind, talking to everyone who's on the team, sometimes adjusting, sometimes feeling like, okay, we'll go with what you say today, is one of the crucial parts which I learned during iGEM. Teamwork is really important. You can't keep fighting and bickering over small things, and it's the same. There are a lot of challenges, but those challenges are what you will remember on later when you're done with iGEM, and the amount of effort you put will actually seep into your own personality, and you'll be like, oh fine, I've done a lot of work for this. And yeah, challenges are way too many, but it's not like you can't overcome them. You just need the will to do it.
How has participating in iGEM impacted your career, and what are the avenues that one can continue post completion of the project?
I would say iGEM was a pretty big game changer for me. I think on a merely personal level, it gave me the confidence to know that I can have good ideas in science, and I do have the skills to like execute them. So it really made me believe in myself that I do belong in science and I can have a career in science. It also helped me meet a lot of really wonderful people, so my teammates for starters, but also throughout the journey there were so many people from around the world, and I got to meet them and learn from them, and that's been another amazing part. And I think it's just had this like sort of snowballing effect where the things that I've learned have helped me learn more things, which have helped me learn more things. And I think that was kind of the I guess the thing that initiated that chain reaction of learning for me. And so I'm super grateful that I had the chance to do it, and I don't think I would be here where I am right now if it wasn't for iGEM.
One reason I'm choosing to still stay a part of iGEM because I have gained so much from that 1 year of competition. Even though it was really tiresome and I was totally exposed to a new environment. I wouldn't be, okay, so before iGEM I wouldn't be this person who would come in front of a camera and talk to people. But doing iGEM, it made me so, I talked to so many people, I socialized to so many people in that 1 year than my entire life before that. So the impact it had on me actually gave me a holistic development. So that is one reason I chose to still give back to the iGEM community.
iGEM was one of the greatest, or definitely one of the greatest milestones for me because it helped me improve in my critical thinking of how I should go ahead with an experiment, how I should troubleshoot an experiment, even not just in the laboratory techniques, but also in how to go about finding sponsorships, how to talk to different people, and
So once you participate in iGEM, research is not only like what do you call it, concentrated in like lab, like your experiments or anything. Research can be like how you go out and impact people. So in iGEM we got to experience, we interacted with people outside the lab. We got to know how one can develop a project. So when you're doing a research inside the lab, it's just like, couple of people you're interacting with and, optimizing. But when you're working with iGEM, it's like how you connect with people, how your research can bring about change in the world. You get to see and you get to develop an idea from scratch and take it to like a next level.
iGEM has completely changed my worldview on what I have to do for science. As I mentioned before, I came into science thinking I wanted to do something in the lab, probably create something, do something really nice, really innovative in my field, and be one of those top-notch researchers. But now I'm more of the opinion of using it for people and coming up with something which may not be the best, but someone would get something out of it. So apart from all the skills you learn, all the teamwork which you have to endure, all the wet lab skills you learn, dry lab skills you learn, there's also, I think, a heavy amount of growth which you go through in that 8 months which you're part of a team working towards a goal. So yeah.
What are a few memorable moments that you often cherish from your time participating?
Some of the moments that I cherish, obviously there was the time when I was sitting, when the prizes were being announced, and I was there with Pranav and my other teammates, and seeing IISER Thiruvananthapuram flash on the screen, that was of course like the icing on the cake, and who doesn't like winning? That was obviously one of my favorite moments, and being in Paris with my teammates was incredibly memorable.
Apart from that, I would say brainstorming is the best. I love talking about science. Just sitting down, just like shooting ideas, trying to figure out how you could come up with a solution for this. You may not be the smartest, but any and every contribution is always accepted. And it was really fun just, it's like talking about science and coming up with solutions which you probably would have never believed in yourself to come up with. And yeah, that's probably the most.
Okay, so during the competition, I told you when 15 people had 15 opinions, we had so much clashes going on. But there was this time we met regularly, as in when we used to club few people's birthdays and everybody just put 1,000 rupees, all of us came together and had really good food. All of us used to gather in the first floor of CDH1. And that was all the time when we, forgot about everything. Okay, let the competition stay in place, because iGEM can become really hectic, especially when you have your coursework going on. You never know how much time you spend for what. It becomes really tiresome. So in between all that, when you get that time when all of you sit together and just relax and maybe get some time to sleep, that's also nice. Yeah.
So definitely iGEM was bumpy ride throughout. We had like an ups and downs in between. We had even at the day, if we had a quarrel, by the end of the night, we all sit like a family together and sort it all out. I really enjoyed the team spirit that everyone had, and that actually pushed us to win a silver medal in the competition. And even I remember, we used to buy a ton of snacks at night from iCafe, and then we used to like pull out all-nighters, do experiments all night. It was really great, fun time. And even at the competition, when judges were announcing the prizes, our hearts were like racing. And then finally they announced that we got a silver medal. All of us were like really happy. We jumped. Yes, it was really great moments.
Finally, what advice would you give to someone who's considering to participate in iGEM?
Okay, so iGEM can have a great impact on yourself, on your career, yes, but you have to be ready to face the competition as it comes by. It will not be a piece of cake. I guarantee you it will not be a piece of cake. You will be exposed to so many things you have not done earlier. You will have to learn so many things you have not done earlier. You have to you have to interact with so many people. So there is no going back. Once you are in it, you are bound to do so many things to actually get the entire experience. It's a wholesome experience.
Yeah, my advice definitely would be we should go for it. Definitely go for it. It's a really wonderful opportunity. Don't miss it out. But if you should also see whether you will have time for iGEM, because iGEM definitely requires a great amount of time and dedication. So if you have your major projects or something, it might be really difficult. But still, it's not a dead end. You can still participate in iGEM and network as much as possible with all the professors and students that you meet during iGEM.
iGEM is a great experience and you should definitely go for it, but ensure that it's not just something you want to do because everyone's been doing it. Do it because you genuinely believe in, wanting to do science. So that's about it. Is that it?
So I would suggest just don't hesitate when you're taking up a decision, or like when you're going ahead with certain, like what I learned from iGEM is like build trust in your gut feeling. So if you think it is worth it, it's definitely worth it. You have to give it a shot. You don't have to question it again and again.
Compared to any other internship, I would say you should go for iGEM, just because in a project that is like a summer internship or even a semester 2 project, you'll just learn how to do some experiments or how to set up experiments, how to troubleshoot it. But in the case of iGEM, here, like I mentioned, it's a full-fledged project where you will be learning essential skills like how to handle a team, how to be a part of the team, and how to do science communication, and like different aspects of it, like how you are developing a project idea, how you are setting up the experiments, and from this laboratory, how you can take it to the next level, say to a startup, to the industrial side, what are the possible outcomes and what are the drawbacks, how you can actually talk to stakeholders. So in our project duration, we actually conducted a breast cancer screening camp in our campus. We went to an orphanage, spoke to the kids, conducted camps in schools. All of them were like pretty fruitful experiences, and I know for sure that I wouldn't be getting this much of experiences from any other internship or other project that I'm doing here on campus. So definitely it's worth it, and at the end I can promise you that it will be a very worthy experiences, and you will be getting your friends for life and meet amazing people around the globe. So we went to Paris and we met with amazing people with incredible crazy ideas and people who really believe that okay, this can be done. So we develop our network. We do a lot of collaborations, and it's really important in science to like network with more people. So I think iGEM is the best platform for that.
And lastly, keep an open mind. There's a lot that you can learn from either the team in your institute or like teams from around the world. They've had wonderful projects. So if you're looking for inspiration, like previous iGEM teams is a great place to start. And it's not going to be easy. It's going to be difficult, but it's not a sprint. It's a marathon. So try to do is take it one day at a time. Do as much as you can in that day, and just know that you may or may not end up winning a prize, but at the end of the day, you are contributing to scientific research. I mean, there are people who do reference iGEM projects later on, and you are helping science move forward, and that in and of itself is a great achievement. So those would be my pieces of advice.